Hi everybody, so here is my PowerPoint for my WebQuest. My WebQuest is titled Life as a Prospector, which is a 4th grade standard in social studies to learn about the gold rush. So, overview of the project, students are going to become or act like they're prospectors during the California gold rush, and they're going to have to set up a camp in their settlement and discuss the things that happened in daily life during the gold rush. Politics, the environment, how they worked, what they bought, how they lived, things like that. So the task, students are going to use an approved list of websites to investigate what life was like during the gold rush. And then in groups of 3 or 4, they're going to create some sort of project from a learning menu that's going to discuss what life was like and what they learned. They can either create a PowerPoint presentation, a mural, or an oral report to present to the class. For our process, students are going to need to find a couple of people to work with. They're going to need to decide which project they're going to create at the end of the lesson. And they're going to need to decide where their group's going to be setting up camp. Which town, why they chose that town, things like that. They need to discuss camp life. What were the conditions? What kind of food did they eat? How much did goods cost? What mining methods? Were they successful in finding gold? What the daily schedule was like. What the politics of the town were. Their laws and what were the repercussions for breaking the laws. They will note all of their findings in their project notebook, and once they've found all the information that they need, they'll create their final project. Here's a list of resources that the students can use. A couple of different PBS websites, both the PBS Kids website about the gold rush, and this PBS website is a fantastic documentary about the gold rush. It has lots of teacher guides and information for students. The San Francisco Museum, the museum in Cal Berkeley, the Ceres, California website. All of these have really good resources for students. This one talks mainly about the geology, about finding the gold rush, how they mined things, what the composition of gold is for students who may not know. And then here's the rubrics. They are kind of tiny, so hopefully you'll be able to see them. I'll post both the movie and the PowerPoint. For the PowerPoint presentation, students are going to have to look at things like whether their content was accurate, if their spelling and grammar are correct, how they sequenced information, and then in all 3 rubrics, there's a cooperation and an effectiveness piece. Students will be graded on how well they worked as a team during their projects. Oral presentation, they're going to be graded on things like their pitch, whether or not they're speaking clearly and correctly, they're using complete sentences, they have good posture and eye contact. Again, this collaboration with peers part. The mural, they're going to be looked at for things like accuracy on the theme, whether it actually fits the theme of the assignment, whether their drawings are recognizable enough. Their use of color, their balanced use of space, the craftsmanship. Does it look like they actually took time to do this mural, or did they throw it together at the last minute because they took too much time playing around during the project? I'm not looking for a Van Gogh or Rembrandt because I myself am not a very good artist, and art's pretty subjective. I just want to see that they actually tried. They put the effort into the project. And again, the time and effort piece and the collaboration and teamwork piece. And that's it. The camp is done. The project's complete. Once students are done, I still want them to think about the lasting impressions that the gold rush had on the state of California and to our California history. The cities that came because of the gold rush and the physical effects on landscaping. And then there's this interesting piece as an extension, maybe for GATE students, or students that are just really interested in the gold rush. They can look at some of the mining cities that still remain that are ghost towns like Bodie, California, and some of the businesses that have stood the test of time that were started during the gold rush, like Levi Strauss and Wells Fargo. I hope you guys all liked my project. I hope it was informational, and like I said, I'll post both the video and the PowerPoint so that you can see both things. Thanks!